beautiful, beloved souls. My name is Jem, and I'm a psychic medium, and I am an author. Before we get into the commentary, I want to let you know that for $2 Australian, I'm offering a PDF document. Again, I'll put all the details in the description. Now, for those of you who are new, on this channel, you'll find mainly commentaries. Rarely I will do a PowerPoint. PowerPoints actually take up quite a lot of work for very little reward. So I prefer commentaries because you put in quite a bit of effort just for a few views. And just saying that, I do want to let you know I appreciate every and any view I get. I'm very grateful for you being here. Now, I want to let you know, as a psychic medium, I can do channeling and I can also remote view, and there is a difference. Now, I got a comment on one of my last videos where I remote viewed David Wilcock, what happened to him. Now, before I remote viewed it, I also, a few days before that, did a channeling, a very brief channeling. But someone left a comment, and the comment was remote view with a question mark. So I thought I'll do a video called Remote Viewing versus Channeling, where the line blurs. There's a very fine line between remote viewing and channeling. From the outside, they can almost look identical. Both involve receiving information. Both feel like something is coming through rather than being consciously created. But the mechanics and the intention are very different. And if you don't understand that difference, it's easy to confuse one for the other. What is remote viewing? Remote viewing, in its strictest sense, is a structured method of gathering information about a target that you cannot physically see. Traditionally, the viewer is given a very limited information, often just a number or a coded reference. Why? Because the less you know, the less your imagination can interfere. The goal is not to interpret or tell a story. The goal is to collect small, raw data points, almost like picking up fragments, one piece at a time. How remote viewing feels. This is my experience. When I remote view, it's not a big download. It's subtle. I might get a single word, a shape, a color, a texture, a feeling, and that's it. Then I go back to the target and get another small piece. It's almost like tapping gently on a door and getting one tiny answer each time. Not a conversation, just fragments. My personal method. This is how I do it. I write the target down on paper. It might be a name, a place, or a reference. Then I place my pen over that target. I focus briefly and let the first impression come. I write one word, maybe a small sentence, then I go back to the target. Again, another word or another feeling, back and forth. Target, word. Target, word. No forcing, no trying to make it make sense. Sometimes I'll sketch a shape instead of writing. Sometimes it's just a feeling that I describe. Over time, these fragments begin to build a picture. But the key is this: I don't jump ahead. I stay with the small pieces. So, what is channeling? Channeling is very different. Instead of collecting fragments, you open yourself to receiving a stream. Information can come through in full sentences, paragraphs, concepts that feel complete. It's less like tapping on a door and more like opening it. How channeling feels. When I channel, it feels like a flow. The information arrives more continuously. There's less stopping and starting, and often it carries a certain rhythm to it, almost like it wants to be spoken or written in full. Where remote viewing is controlled and minimal, channeling is receptive and expansive. Why the line gets blurry? Here's where people get confused. If a remote viewer knows the target, for example, they know it's a person or a location, their mind can begin to fill in gaps and the process can shift. Instead of small, controlled impressions, they might start receiving larger, more connected information. At that point, it can start to feel like channeling, but technically, it's no longer strict remote viewing because the structure has loosened. Key differences. Let's break it down simply. Remote viewing. Structured. Minimal information about the target. Small data points. Word by word. Shape by shape. Analytical mind stays slightly engaged. Channeling. Open and flowing. Larger blocks of information, sentences, paragraphs, concepts. Less structure, more receptive state. The role of the mind. This is important. Both processes go through your mind, so interpretation always plays a role. With remote viewing, the structure helps reduce that. With channeling, you need stronger discernment because more is coming through at once. That doesn't make one better than the other. They're just different tools. A practical tip. If you want to practice both, keep them separate. When you remote view, stay structured, stay minimal. Don't interpret too early. When you channel, allow flow, but stay aware. Don't switch off your judgment completely. Think of it like this. Remote viewing is collecting puzzle pieces. Channeling is being handed a completed section of the puzzle. Final reflection. At the end of the day, both abilities rely on the same foundation: quieting the mind, becoming receptive, learning the difference between forcing and allowing. But the intention defines the method. Are you gathering small signals or opening to a stream? Once you understand that, the line between them doesn't disappear, but it becomes much clearer to navigate. Okay, beautiful, beloved souls. So I just very quickly wanted to show you the difference. I've shown you my channeling before. I'm trying to find where my book is. But this is remote viewing. So what happens is with remote viewing, let's go to the first page. With Amy, I got the first word burning. I then went back to the target, Amy. So I went, I'll show you. The first word I got was burning. I then went back to Amy, and then I got pain. I then went back and I got brain fog, technology. So each one was me going back to the target. So I'm just going to show you something here. There goes my piece of paper. So usually under strict guidelines, you get the remote viewer doesn't know anything. He might be given, say, I'm just showing you, 119678. So he put his pen, he's quietened his mind, focus, and he might get sharp. Okay? Puts the pen back on. Mountain. And so on. Whereas, I haven't got my book here, but channeling, I'm just making this up, okay? Channeling, you might go, oh, the man's name is Alan Brown and he lived in Sydney and his work was, you get like a complete full picture. Automatic writing is the same. You allow, so instead of the target, you will sit down and you'll just start writing. That's not writing, but I'm showing you it. And you'll start writing absolutely full sentences. Again, there are online where you can do remote viewing. It actually teaches, I think you have to guess each target. So usually if the remote, say I wanted to remote view Antarctica, I would write down at the top of my page, Antarctica, underline it, like Antarctica, put my pen on it, first word that comes, cold, put my pen back on it, I'm just doing one in real life, guarded, this is just very quick, white, and I got ice, and I got control. That's by just putting my pen on the target. I'm not going to do any more, but you can see they're just fragments where when you do, say you're doing automatic writing, it just flows and flows. You get a completed piece of, you get several lines of a completed whatever it is. You might, like the last one I channeled was about dreams. So I got pages and pages of a download information. So yes, you can channel and you can also remote view. They are slightly different, but both involve quietening and focusing. Now, I on this channel, most of the time I've uploaded my channelings, and only just recently have I uploaded remote viewing because I was interested in those targets. So at best, remote viewing is 65% accurate. The CIA first looked at remote viewing, I think, in the 1970s. I'm just answering someone who left a comment. And sometimes you might get, when you remote view, say that target again, that I might draw a triangle. There are remote viewing channels on YouTube. Metaphysical channel is a very good one. And there's other people who do channeling like me. And like I said, I can channel and I can remote view. All right. If you have any questions or comments, can you please drop them below? And I ask that you do so respectfully. And please be kind to each other. Smile at a stranger. You might just save someone's life. And take care of yourselves because you are precious. You matter. And if you are having any issues you need help with, please seek help. There are lots of online groups that you can go to. All right, that's it for Saturday. Love, light, and blessings. And again, if you want to know how to channel, I will leave it in the description. All right, I'm done. Bye.